Hello. Welcome on back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. For today's look, I'm going to lean into the summertime season and create something super dewy and fresh on our beautiful model, Courtney. So without further ado, if you want to learn how I created this look right here, then keep on watching. So to begin, I'm using the Elemis Pro-Collagen Cleansing Balm to prep our model's skin with. By this point, y'all know the drill. This is a staple in my makeup routine. And although a cleansing balm is a product you would usually see being used to remove makeup, I absolutely love using this stuff before any makeup is applied. And the reason being is because it works by first breaking down any dirt or oils on the face as a balm, but once it starts being warmed up on the skin, it becomes an oil. And then once I add water to it, it completely transforms into a cleansing milk. So it allows me to cleanse my client's skin without stripping it of its natural oils. In fact, once I remove it with a washcloth, it leaves the skin looking and feeling more hydrated than it did before even using the product. So because of that, it's a must in my routine and a product that I highly recommend if you haven't tried it already. Now once this is done, I'll moisturize the skin using the Pro-Collagen Marine Cream SPF 30. This is another product from the Elemis brand that I just recently got into using, and the only reason being is because I saw it going viral on TikTok. So thank you, TikTok, because it turns out I've really been loving this. It drenches the skin with moisture. It's packed with skin-loving ingredients. It has a gel cream texture that performs beautifully under makeup. And my favorite part is it contains SPF 30, so it'll have your skin hydrated, dewy, and protected all summer long. Now for foundation today, I'm using the Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow Foundation in the shade 1N14, and I'm first applying this on with a foundation brush, and I'll later go in with a sponge to further blend it in. But what's important here is that I'm applying this to the perimeter of the face first before sharing it out towards the center. For the look like the one we're creating today, I want a dewy skin-like finish that's about medium coverage, give or less, and feels lightweight, which I think is, most people's objective with a summertime look, because as we know, makeup can look a lot heavier and cakier in the bright sunlight. So we really want to make sure these products are pressed and blended into the skin today, and leaving it up to our makeup sponge to pick up any excess product. Next up, I'm using the Haus Triclone Skin Tech Concealer to conceal and brighten around the eyes. In fact, I'll even bring this around to the nostrils, forehead, down the center of the nose and chin to give a subtle highlight. This is optional, of course, depending on how your skin wears makeup, but I feel like, we sheared out the foundation quite a bit and prepped the skin really well, so we can afford to add a little more coverage without jeopardizing the skin. And as always, I'm using the same sponge to blend and press the products in for a seamless finish. To bronze up the skin, I'm using the Saie Sun Melt Cream Bronzer and lightly pressing this in around the perimeter of the face with a fluffy brush before also going over this with our sponge to further blend it in. So applying this around the forehead, beneath the cheekbones and jawline will give us some warmth, but I'll also add in some definition. Now up to this point, you'll notice I'm using a lot of hydrating products. The skincare, the dewy foundation, the cream bronzer, and soon to be cream blush, because they translate so well in the summer sunlight, and they truly give that second skin finish that, that powders can't quite replicate as well as creams. Although don't get me wrong, I will use a powder in a second, but first, let's finish blending this in. Alrighty, so now we can use a little powder. I'm going to be using this Givenchy loose setting powder, but first I want to make sure I blend out any concealer that could have creased up beneath the eyes, and then I can lightly press this powder in with a fluffy brush. So if your goal is truly to get a dewy, glowy finish, you'll want to be light-handed with the powder. Not to say you shouldn't use it, but it's all about the powder you choose to use and where you choose to use it. Where I like to place it is beneath the eyes, where we had, applied concealer, and then a little here and there around the mouth and center of the forehead. But where I'm not placing it is where I want to keep that shine, such as around the highest points of her cheekbones, above the brows, and down the center of the nose. For blush today, I'm using this Patrick Ta Cream and Powder Blush Duo in the shade She's a Doll, and picking up the cream formula with our sponge and tapping it onto the apples of her cheeks and lifting it upwards, almost like we're draping the sides of her cheekbones with this vibrant pink. I think this color is perfect for the summertime. It's youthful, it's bright, and it's still glowy because we're using that cream formula, which is going to work hand in hand with the other cream and liquid complexion products we used. Moving right along to the brows, I'm using this Haus Labs Edge Precision Eye Pencil in the shade Ash Brown and lightly dusting this through her brows. Now, Courtney did tell me she likes to extend the tail of her brow, so that's what I'm going to focus on. But really, for the rest of the brow, I don't want to do a whole lot. I kind of want to keep it simple and clean. So I'll be light-handed with this pencil and every so often switch to the spoolie end of this to brush the product through. To set these brows into place, I'm using the Patrick Ta Major Brow Lamination Gel and gliding this through the brow hairs. Now, I know there's a lot of mixed reviews on this product because some people say that they experience white flaking of the product once it's applied. So to prevent that, what I find works best is being as quick as possible when working with this product, because the longer you mess with it, as it starts to dry, it'll begin to flake if it's brushed through. Think of it almost as nail polish. When you first apply it on your nails, it glides on smoothly, but as it starts to dry, it becomes tacky, and then when it fully dries down, it'll start to flake and chip off as you mess with it. So anyway, I hope that helps anyone who may be having that issue with their brow gel. Now, to start on the eyes, I'm using this IT Cosmetics eyeshadow stick in the shade Bare and Brave and running this along the complete upper lid from the lash line to the crease before I diffuse out the edges with a clean eyeshadow brush. I love a good eyeshadow stick because they're super quick and easy to use. The one I'm using here is a waterproof formula, making it perfect for the summertime. And this matte rose shade is light and airy, which is a great option for someone who likes a subtle eyeshadow look that doesn't look too heavy or dramatic. To add on this, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk eyeshadow palette, and to make this super easy, I'm going to work in a clockwise order. So starting with the first shade, which is the matte eyeshadow that's in the top right-hand corner of the palette, I'm using this to set the shadow stick into place and to intensify it a bit by smoking and diffusing this outwards. Try not to overthink this too much. It's a smoky eye, so we don't have to be too precise with anything. We kind of just want to let the brush do the work for us. So now we can move on to this next shade on the bottom right hand corner and placing this more so on the outer half of the lid to add a hint of dimension. And I'll also place a little of this along the lower lash line too, but as you can see, it's a very similar color to the first one we used, just a tad bit darker. But that's what makes these eyeshadow quads so easy to use. All of the shadows kind of complement each other, taking a lot of the guesswork out of it for us. And you can make it your own too, of course. Maybe you don't want to smoke out the lower lash line or use all 4 shadows, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll show you a little bit of everything. So taking the next shade in the bottom left-hand corner, I'm pressing this right in the center of the lid before blending it out. If you want to glam up your look, this is the way to do it because, I mean, who doesn't love a little sparkle? And it's not too overboard in sparkle either, which is kind of nice because I really don't want the eyeshadow to overpower the complexion here. For this summertime look, it's all about the dewy skin with a wash of color on the lids paired with a glam lip color. So as you saw there, I took the last shade in the palette and using this to highlight the inner corner, which I think really elevates the eye look. For mascara today, I'm using the YSL Lash Clash Mascara and running this through her upper lashes. I'm going to keep the bottom lashes bare as I think it looks cleaner as is, but just one coat of this adds the perfect amount of drama to her upper lashes without looking too dramatic. You know what I mean? And this formula is waterproof, so it's great for those warm summer days. Now I'm just running a lash separator through the lashes to remove excess mascara, and then taking this Tarte Double Take Awake Brightening Eye Pencil and running this through her waterline. We were both holding our breath for this because applying eyeliner in the waterline isn't the most comfortable for anyone, especially if the makeup artist has super shaky hands like me, but we got through it, and that's all that matters. So next up, using this Fenty Beauty Demi Glow highlighter in the shade Prosecco, I'm popping this right onto the highest points of her face, such as the cheekbones, down the center of the nose, Cupid's bow, and chin. This product is a new launch for Fenty Beauty, and I think they did a phenomenal job with this. Now, they do still have their other highlighters. I think it's called the freestyle highlighter or something. I may be mistaken on that, but this differs in that it's not as glittery as the freestyle is. It's more of a shimmer foil that, as we can see, still gives a beautiful skin-like glow. So to begin on the lips, I'm using this Makeup Forever lip pencil in the shade Anywhere Caffeine and using this to trace her lips with before we add in a lipstick. So this was a bit of a wild card for me today because I had intended on doing a very natural sheer pinky nude lip, but then I don't know what took over me. I think because the eye makeup is so simple, I wanted a slightly moodier glam lip color, and I've been seeing a lot of people create this lip I'm doing here. So I'm using the slightly darker nude lip liner to trace and fill in the outer corners with, and then I'll take this deep red lipstick from e.l.f. Cosmetics in the shade No Regrets and lightly buff it into the center of the lip with an eyeshadow brush, giving us that ombre lip stain effect. And really, it's a fun way to play with a more vibrant color that you usually wouldn't wear, but using it in a way that doesn't stray too far away from the everyday nude lip that you feel comfortable with. So if you're up for it, take your go-to nude lip liner, throw some red lipstick in, and see how you like it. To gloss this up, I'm using the City Beauty Plumping Lip Gloss in the shade Tinseltown and glazing this right on top for that high shine finish. It just adds that juicy sheen, and truly this style of ombre lip just keeps getting better and better looking as the day goes on and as the lip products continue to mesh together to create that worn-in effect. To finish off the look, I'm using the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray to set and lock this makeup into place, which makes this the final step in how we created this fresh and dewy summertime look on our naturally beautiful model. There we have it, kids. I hope you all enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, be sure to give this video a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also check out more of my work on my Instagram at Painted by Spencer. And until next time, I'll see you soon.